You got this shit knocking though.
All right.
Yo.
We are back with the
Sure.
Not So Cool podcast.
Number
52, ladies
what
and
it
gentlemen.
is. Yeah, man.
And we got the man of the hour,
The myth, the legend.
the taco.
Damn.
Mr. Marco Torres, I'll let you do the whole IG
Yeah.
thing.
Marco Torres, also known as Marco from Houston.
H-Town,
Puro North Side, Houston, Texas. The real North Side, not, the Woodlands or Spring. Or,
Hey.
I mean, I don't have anything against any of those places.
But we all know what
Hey,
it
what
is.
north side you from though? Hold on.
45 and Airline.
My boy, I'm on 45 West Road Airline, know what I'm saying?
No, that was horrible.
Yeah, that was
we're
horrible.
not
We
from
got-
the same.
we
We're
got-
not from the same. movie.
At all, at
We're not
all.
from the same
I've been done tossed around from the north side to the south side to the Nigerian community to the Hispanic community to the white community. I don't even know how to act anymore.
That's crazy, man.
Anyway, yeah, that's me, Marco from Houston.
Nice. All right, guys, we're done.
Yep. Podcast over.
Yeah, Marco,
Thanks.
Man, so for the people who don't know who you are,
Yeah.
give us a quick little
So I'm a
introduction.
photographer and taco journalist. And a lot of people ask me if that's the best job in the world. And yes, it is the best job in the world. Which means I get paid to take photos of different events. And I get paid to eat tacos, take photos of tacos, and report on the taco area of the world.
The industry of tacos. Taco journalism.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sweet gig. I mean, beats what I was doing before. When I got out of college, I worked in oil and gas for about 3 or 4 years, and then I worked in finance for like 8 years.
Where'd you go to college at?
I went to the University of St. Thomas, right down the street of Montrose in West Alabama.
All right,
Pretty
so
nice.
what happened first? The love of tacos, the love of photography?
Tacos for sure. I have a photo of myself at like 3 or 4 years old. It's like they took the bottle out of my mouth, and put a taco in my hand. It's me and my dad eating tacos at the dinner table.
I have a naive question. I'm Nigerian, so I had no choice but to eat Nigerian food when I was coming up.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing for you guys as you coming up being Hispanic? Is it like Hispanic food forced on you?
Nah, not for me. It wasn't.
It's
at
kind
least.
of like that's what there is. Like there is no like, oh, I don't want to eat tacos today. Let me go to KFC or let me go to Pizza Hut. It'd be like, do you have Pizza Hut money? it's like no, and the answer was no. We did not have Pizza Hut money.
For me, no, because so my mom was a single mother, and so since she worked late hours, I would stay with my aunt until my mom would get home from school. Well, my aunt was married to a white guy for years and years. So my cousin, he's half white and he's half Hispanic. So
you guys had like beans and rice,
like weird shit. Like and he's like
Potato salad with raisins.
he was
in
like
it.
one of those like no, not that. So to me, like Papa John's is white. Like we eat Papa John's pizza. I
don't like
hate
Papa
Papa
John's. I
John's.
don't
That
like
is the
Papa
most.
John's.
That is
You
the
don't like
worst.
the little butter dip
No,
sauce, bro?
that is well the sauce. Yes, the pizza
no.
nude. Pizza's trash, and
Yeah.
I will say that despite whatever Papa John's has done recently. But before that, growing up, Papa John's and I thought Hertz was trash. I still think Hertz is trash. Hertz is chicken.
Hearts,
Hearts, whatever.
Hearts?
because Hertz is a rental car place.
Oh yeah, yeah,
my
yeah. Hearts chicken.
Hearts.
Nah,
Hearts has good
bruh.
rolls though.
The rolls fire.
Nah.
The chicken's so the chicken it goes. Popeyes gets the best.
Yeah.
Then
Well, my Frenchies, messed up. God.
No, you got to go to New Orleans to eat fried chicken.
No, yeah.
I love New Orleans fried chicken.
Yeah. But, like, there's a difference between Popeyes in New Orleans and Popeyes like here.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
is, there really is.
But in Houston,
yeah.
KFC gets the best chicken, Popeyes gets the next best chicken, and then Church's gets the third best chicken, and then everybody else.
Well, see,
No, I think Popeye's number 1.
it might be. To me.
Me personally, because I like spicier food.
I do too.
Well, I don't like spicy food, but so KFC's
White part talking.
Yeah, right.
I don't like spicy food, bro. I'm not gonna get in detail about what it does.
You were in
but,
Japan. You didn't eat any spicy food out there.
No wasabi.
We always eating ramen and stuff.
Ramen has spice.
I don't
in it.
put all that in there. I just get like the broth, chicken.
You know what though? I do go to Ramen Tatsuya and ask for broth, noodles, and pork belly. That's it.
And I put like a shitload of soy sauce in there if it's bad. But the ramen in Tokyo was amazing. But
You know who's there now? The Suffers.
for real,
They're
man, I feel like as soon as I left from there, I'm just like
Everybody was
I'm like
Georgie
Jesus,
and
bless, and then Bun
They
B.
had the whole.
and
Yeah.
Suffers. I mean, good lord.
Bun B was just there for the whole
Yeah, for the
gumball
gumball,
thing,
yeah.
and I didn't know. I was surprised that was his first time ever going. He said,
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me. But yeah, I mean, off of that,
I want to go there one day. I've never
definitely
been.
should. I think you should. Ramen there, like I don't look at.
I want to take my little brother. My little brother's a real connoisseur of Japanese culture.
See, that's how
Yeah,
that's how
so
I am.
I kind of want to take him just to kind of fulfill his lifelong dream.
That was my lifelong, like, no lie,
Yeah.
that was my lifelong
Yeah.
dream, man.
So,
Jesus.
but yeah, back
yeah.
to me.
Yeah, back to you.
Yeah, photographer. I worked for, so in between when I was working for I was actually working at a credit union for 10 years, or for, I don't know, a long time, almost 10 years. In between then is when I started taking photos. So one of my uncles was a photographer, and he did all film, and he shot quinceañeras and weddings and senior portraits and stuff like that, but on film. Like, this was before digital.
Yeah.
He thugging.
And like I was always interested in what he did, but I never really, like, he lived off of Belfort, like he lived in the south side.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah,
Good side.
I'm in the north side. Like, it'd take forever to get there, and I would never be able to go and help him or anything like that. But then I had other uncles that had like a muffler shop or radiator shop. So my mom would send me to and during the summer to go work with them to learn how to work. And, you know, do you want to do this the rest of your life, or do you want to go to school? So yeah, well, I guess I got to go to school. You know, I gotta go to college.
I was hit with that too.
But yeah, my uncle had a photography business. It was pretty successful. But when he retired, you know, his kids, my cousins, didn't want to take over the business, and they kind of asked me if I wanted to, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really into it at that point. So it just kind of went away.
Dang.
Jump forward a couple years in the future after that is when I picked up a digital camera, because okay, I could do computers, I could do digital. I just didn't think I was cut out for like the dark room and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just did it and picked it up. Every year got better and better, and then I think I picked up my first Canon Rebel XT like 04, 05, something like that. And I was well known as documenting graffiti and street art and abandoned buildings in the Houston area.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of 3 guys in Houston that were real big into documenting that and putting it on Flickr and getting it, like, back then there wasn't Instagram and there wasn't Snapchat and there was no Facebook. It was like, oh, my photo got on the Explore page of Flickr and all these people liked it. Like, it was like amazing.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, June 2009, I got my first assignment with the Houston Press. My first show was at Warehouse Live at a Bun B and Friends show. And I got to take photos of Bun, got to meet Trey and Chameleonaire and Paul Wall, and I mean, everybody who was anybody in Houston, you know, it was Bun B and Friends. And I think this was like the first show, maybe the second show after Pimp C had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of people there, you know. Man, that night changed my life. Like, there was one photo that I specifically remember of Bun looking at me while he was on stage, looking down at the photo pit and kind of just throwing me the H, and I was able to miraculously do the settings on my camera and focus on time and get that one photo. When I took it home and edited it, I was like, I could do this for the rest of my life. Like, what am I doing sitting in an office? And then, 5 years later, I was full-time photography, and that was I left my day job in 2013, and I've been doing photography ever since. I did 10 years for the Houston Press, and then now I do Houston Chronicle and Houstonia Magazine. And half of what I do is journalism, and the other half is freelance, full-time freelance.
So, like, when your parents found out you were, like, going to start doing photography, they were like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, my mom passed in 07.
Okay.
So it's like she wanted me to finish college, and I did. It took me a while. After my 4 years, I still needed like two or three classes to finish everything, like my thesis and everything like that. And it took me a while to do it, but after I finished it, I finished it because, you know, I wanted to make sure that she was looking down on me.
Yeah.
And, okay, he finally finished what I wanted him to finish. But after that, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to do oil and gas anymore. I don't really want to work in finance anymore. What do I really want to do? And then photography just kind of found me. Like, somebody was selling a camera for cheap. I was like, I'll do it. I'll get it. Let me get it. Let me do this. And then just kind of did it. And worked as an assistant for a couple of people that were real cool, and learned from a lot of photographers. There used to be a website called TexasPhotoForum.com. Again, this is before Facebook. This is before Instagram. This is before a lot of things, where forums and websites were the thing. And TexasPhotoForum.com, I got to meet a bunch of people, become a second shooter at different events and weddings and different things, and just learn how to use a camera, learn how to work with people, learn how to edit photos, learn different things that I didn't go to school for this. That's one of the things that people ask me, did you go to school for photography or for journalism? And I'm like, I did not. Just kind of picked it up and learned it along the way.
Because a lot of your like concerts or events you shoot, you also write for them. You also write the articles, right? Do you do it?
Even that happened by accident. I went to one show one time and the writer didn't show up, and it was a Slim Thug show at House of Blues. So I took it upon myself to write the review, and the editor either didn't think it was any good, didn't like what I said or whatever. They ended up taking tweets from people who were at the show, putting them in an article, and then putting my photos on top. I was like, wow, this sucks. Like, do I really suck that bad? And I don't know. I never really asked them the circumstances behind that, but that's just what they decided. I mean, editors are editors. They do what they think is best for the publication. A year later, same thing happened. I showed up at a show. The writer didn't show up. I was taking photos, and I told my editor, "Hey, I don't think the person's here. What do you want me to do?" And they're like, "Take notes and write the article and submit it tomorrow." And it was an Ice Cube show at House of Blues again. Oh. And I took photos and I wrote the article, and the editor liked it and put it in the Houston Press. And then I just started reviewing and shooting shows, and it just has worked since then.
Yeah, I could see how bad mine would be because I'm horrible. Show was tight. Took pics. Yeah.
I do want to give props to a couple people at the Houston Press. Chris Gray was my music editor at the Houston Press. He helped me out tremendously. There was a couple other people that helped me out. The guy that helped me out probably the most is a name that many people may or may not know, but probably know. His name is Shay Serrano. Shay Serrano used to write for the Houston Press. He used to write most of the reviews for hip-hop and rap shows. And he used to write an article, a column called The Nightfly, which he would go to different bars and restaurants and like nightclubs and like write about like the nightlife scene in Houston. But for like 2 years, from when I started in 2009 until when he stopped writing for the press, I would take photos of most of his articles. So if you go back to the press now and you look at his articles, a lot of those reviews, especially those reviews, would be my photos. Oh. He would make me. I lived in Northside. I still live in Northside. He lived over by NRG Reliant. He would make me go pick him up from his house, take him to the show, take him back home, and then I would go back home, edit the photos. This was before Uber. This was before Uber and Lyft. I mean, I'm old, guys. I just had a birthday. I turned 38 last 2 or 3 days ago.
Happy birthday.
So this is before Uber.
Birthday,
thank you. Before Facebook, before Instagram. This is crazy. Like, I learned a lot of stuff prior to the new generation that exists now. And I really think that helped me out a lot because now there's a lot of photographers, especially like on Instagram, that are doing things, and I don't hate on them. I don't hate at all. I appreciate what they're doing. They do some amazing work. Their photos are fire. They get models and they get artists and they get all kinds of things, and every now and then they do bigger and better things. But man, it's hard for them to do something like what we do, where it's like you're working for a client, or you're working for an agency, or you're working for an editor or a magazine or a newspaper, and you actually need so many different types of shots for the client to look at and to review. It'd be tough for them to thrive in that environment because they don't have the experience.
Yeah.
No formal training,
right?
In what people want, I've been blessed with that. Like I had a lot of people along the way because I'm pre-IG too, that taught me little things and helped me out. So I agree with that for real.
Yeah, well, what helped me is like when I started working with Style Magazine, one of the editors there, she gave me a chance,
right?
And that put me into that world. So I wasn't just like. Because, I mean, there's people now that ask me about, like, oh, how are you working with this and how are you working with that? And it's like, for me, it was just kind of like, I guess in a sense, luck, because I had met somebody in the beginning, and they had introduced me. They had brought me into a meeting that Style Magazine was having. They're like, oh, hey, like, he's up and coming. Like, use him.
Right.
And that happened. And then she was like, hey, like, we're going to find a way to start paying you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, awesome. And then she started showing me like the ins and outs. And she even asked me a few times if I wanted to write. And I was like, nah, I don't think I want to write.
Was this Lisa?
Yeah. So shout out to Lisa.
amazing.
No, man, I love Lisa. Like she helped me out a ton.
Yeah.
A ton.
Yeah.
And like, no, I definitely have like love for her. So
I think the other thing about Houston is, there's no formal industry here for arts and entertainment like
it's funny we were
Atlanta
just
or in
talking-
LA or
Yeah.
New York or even Nashville. But the people that you do meet and the people that you do work with go a long way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, they work for one agency or one publication or whatever, but they know other publications and other people and other agencies or whatever. And then you're gonna have a chance and opportunity to work with other people, even though you haven't met them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the whole Houston is a big small town kind of thing. Like, somebody who knows somebody, which is amazing, and not in a crazy way like in New York. Like, oh, you can't work here because you haven't been part of the family. You haven't been part of the team since whatever. Like here, it's like, okay, are you available? Will this budget work for you?
And that's it.
Then do it.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, they'll find them.
They'll
There's
find
somebody else down
Yeah.
the pipeline. Yeah, that's true, man.
Let's get right over. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
But no,
so-
I've been lucky enough to know a lot of along the way, meet a lot of photographers, artists, DJs, people who run publications and agencies, and just kind of are also putting in work. So
Oh, I was going to actually show. I mean, we never really got the official. How'd you start working for Houston Press?
I sent out a bunch of emails to. Back then, it was like Houston Press, Houston Chronicle had a separate little arts and entertainment. I think they would come out on Thursdays called $29.95, and I did some work for them. I think there was like 002 Magazine, which is now Local Magazine.
Yeah.
And back then there was another magazine called Envy Magazine.
Oh,
was another glossy-
yeah.
Basically, I took like 5 or 6 publications that I wanted to work for and sent out emails and sent out like my portfolio, which is really just like a link on my website that had like the best of the best photos that I've taken so far. I got lucky from when I started taking photos until I started getting paid for photos of either calling venues or managers or some artist managers and getting photo passes and tickets to shows. So my portfolio was okay, was better than average. And then it just took that one person, Chris Gray at the Houston Press, to say, okay, we need you to go, Marco, go to this Bumpy and Friends show. And it just kind of went from there. That year I did like 10 events or 10 concerts for them. Next year I did about 50. The year after that I did about 100. The year after that I just lost count. And it just got better and better every year. And then it went from Houston Press to Houston Press and this, and then Houston Press and this one, and then it just kind of snowballed. And now when I quit my day job, it's like, okay, I just have all this time and all this energy to make myself great.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. And I've been fortunate enough and blessed enough to,
I have some great. You've had some great opportunities. Some of the stuff when I'm there shooting it, I'm like, man, I'm here. And Mark was like, hey, what's up, Fred? What's up? How you doing today? Yeah, another day at the office.
That's important. The camaraderie between people in Houston, I think, also sets us apart because we're not in New York, we're not in Miami, we're not in LA. So Houston is not as cutthroat as other cities. Number one, the cost of living here is exponentially lower than other cities. So for myself, I know I've had this conversation with some of the rappers and some of the DJs. And as far as photography goes, if I get 2, 3, 4 well-paying gigs a month, I'm good for the month. I'm good.
Yeah.
But if in New York, LA, whatever, all these other cities, you need 3, 4, 5 good-paying gigs a week to survive.
Yeah.
So the industry here is not as cutthroat as other cities, and it's good and it's bad. It's good because we get to be creative, we get to do our thing, we get to kind of roll with the process and set our goals and kind of work the way we want to. It's bad because sometimes you get complacent and lazy because you're like, oh, I've done my 4 gigs. I have this much money in the bank. These invoices are getting paid. Let me chill out for a few weeks, or let me chill out for a week. I know it's different for you because you have a family and you have kids.
No, I still do it too.
I'm single. I don't have any kids, so
Same.
Bruh. I look up and I'm like, yo, you've been on Netflix for the past 3 days. Go do something. Nah, but right now, if any of my clients tune in, I'm getting you guys weddings done. But when I don't have anything, like you said, man, I've made my money. I'm good.
yeah.
Man, what's on Netflix? Like Ozark. It's itching me.
Yeah,
I can't watch
I'm
it.
watching it at night. I'm watching only at night before I go to sleep.
I can't watch it yet because I know if I start watching it, these weddings are not going to get done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, once I get these all out the way, and then I have other things, I'm probably going to be a month to 2 months behind everybody on that.
Yeah.
So I completely understand.
I think a lot of people, a lot of clients, and people in general don't know the amount of work that we go through as far as taking a photo. Actually, taking a photo is 5 to 10% of what we do.
Oh yeah.
We have to network. We have to edit. We have to invoice. You as your own as an entrepreneur, as your own business. You are all these departments. You are accounts payable. You are your marketing. You are your whatever. When you work for a company, you have other people doing that for you, and all you're doing is your work.
Yeah.
But as your own boss, you're doing everything, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, why is Fred a month or two behind? It's because he's shot all these things, and he's doing everything for all these things. So I understand. A lot of people don't understand it, but we get it.
We get it.
And I wish more people would get it.
And people just think you're just in front of your computer like 24/7. Like, oh hey, can you see me this?
Yeah.
Or hey, what do you can you can I see
Plus,
this?
we have a life. Like,
Yeah, it's like, bro,
you
I'm not
might
even
be in
home.
Austin, you might be anywhere else. And
I'm not even home right now.
It's like I will get to it ASAP, and ASAP definitely means as soon as possible. Possible being the key word.
Yeah.
Because we may be at another gig, you might be with family, we might be celebrating my birthday. You're doing different things that life puts in your way, but obviously we do care about our business, and we try to do as much as we can for our business.
No, for sure. I think a lot of the things too, just like as creatives, like
What's in the cup? What's in there?
got that drink.
It's
That drink. Yeah, one time that perp.
It's that water. It's that water. There's a lack of H2O in this studio, so I'm treating my water as tequila right now.
I had to pour. Well, he took some. I had to pour some in there and drink mine. I had to ration the water in here.
Yeah, we're ready. I'm gonna go outside when it's raining and just fill my cup.
Right. Were you about to ask Mike?
Damn, I don't even know. We just started talking about water. What were you just talking about? What was he talking about?
About doing work and business and.
Wearing many hats.
I do have many hats. I want to get that Adidas sponsorship and that Lid sponsorship, New Era sponsorship.
Oh well, speaking of, because I know Bun has that. I know Bun has that, like, not with Lids, but New Era, ain't it?
Yeah, he did
have New Era.
He does some work with New Era.
Yeah.
Every now and then, yeah.
How did y'all's relationship come? Because y'all have a pretty good relationship, right? You're like
Me and Bun Me.
Yeah.
So it started at that show where I met him, and then would see him. I mean, if there's a couple people that if you go to a concert in Houston, or if you go to an event in Houston, you're gonna see them. One is Bun B, 2 is me, 3 is probably DJ Mr. Rogers, and 4 is probably Dope Easy. I mean, I've been to sometimes I do 3 events, 4 events a night, and I'll see these people at each event. And it's crazy. I was like, how did you beat me here? And it's nuts. But for Bun, some of it had to do with our homie Saman Ashrawi.
Yeah.
I met Saman a long time ago in Austin when he was working when he was in charge of the TV station at UT when he was still a student. And then he would do documentaries about Bun and do different things. And then him and I would go to different shows that Bun was putting on, either at during South by Southwest or during other shows, during Jambalaya or doing whatever. And just by being friendly with Bun and him seeing our work and him seeing that we weren't trying to get anything from him as far as monetary wise. We were just trying to be cool with him and create content for him to use. Not, I mean, obviously we're putting it in our portfolios too, but we're just trying to be cool with him.
It was
It was a
beneficial.
mutual understanding that So a lot of the times, like you become cool with Bun and you become cool with Truck and you become cool with Red and his support system and Bone, and it's like all of a sudden these people who are there for who have Bun's back 24/7, you become part of that circle. So if you go to a show, you show up. If they're pulling Bun and making sure he's protected and whatever, they're literally pulling you along with them. I know Truck has saved me from being mobbed or trampled over a few times in different places in Austin or in wherever I am. That also leads to that respect and that, understanding of who's in charge and who's the team leads to those opportunities where, okay, Marco, stand right here, on stage, next to wherever.
I've seen that happen for him several times where they'll get, I'm in the pit and they'll go get Marco and they're like,
yeah,
and
it's just
and they'll try to say something. Nah, he good.
Yeah,
he good.
I mean, when you have Truck Buck telling whoever, person, stage manager at whatever venue, trying to pull me on stage, and the guy's like, oh, he doesn't have a wristband, or he doesn't have a whatever. He's like, no, he good. And he Truck literally picks me up, puts me here, and keeps looking at the guy like, we're gonna have a problem. It's one of those things. So it's cool, and I've been lucky enough to get some really great photos, provide them for him for whatever he needs, social media or whatever, even just for him to see.
Yeah.
Because when you're up there, I'm not an artist, obviously, but I can only understand that when Bun's up there, when any artist is up there performing, they're kind of lost in the zone, stuff. And yeah, they're gonna see, other photos and everything. But when you have your guy, your person taking photos for you, it's a whole nother kind of level of wow, I did that. That was me. That's pretty cool. And for me, I just enjoy being in that company, getting those photos, making sure that they see how much impact they have. I've seen Bun show hundreds of times. I've heard him perform these songs hundreds of times, and I never get tired of it.
Well,
When International Players Anthem comes on and he's doing his verse and Pimp's verse, I'm hype. I'm loving it.
Yeah, that song's just a classic for life. I don't think you could ever get tired of that song. That song is just...
And for his new album, Return of the Trill, that just came out, he invited me into the studio to take photos of him at the studio. And I basically had listened to a few of the tracks on the album already. And I'm like, man, this is great. This is amazing. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that he asked me to be here. Ultimately, I was supposed to take the photo for the album cover, and it just so happened that day I was on my way to Austin for a gig, and he was on his way to Port Arthur, and he wanted it done that day, and it didn't work. I mean, he got a good photographer in Port Arthur to do it, which is amazing. I wish I had done it. I think hopefully for the next album, I'll be able to shoot something for him. But man, that stuff is just kind of happens. It's just a natural friendship that just kind of evolved.
All right, man. So outside of all the fun hip hop cool stuff you do, you also do a lot of cool stuff with tacos.
Tacos.
Okay, well, hold on, time out before we get into all that stuff. Where did this love exactly come from? I know it was growing up Hispanic. You were just kind of you had to eat tacos, probably.
I can't hear you. Oh.
No, you're good. We can hear you.
I mean, I am Mexican. I was born in Mexico, which is a blessing. I will never not see it that way. I was born lucky. I was born right across the border from Brownsville, Texas, which is called Matamoros. Matamoros, Tamaulipas. Now, my family immigrated to Houston when I was young, maybe 3 or 4 years old. I mean, pretty young. We started out in the East End, over by Ninfas on Navigation.
Hey, that's my spot.
I would go, I
love that place.
I lived on the street. We would walk towards Our Lady of Guadalupe Church every Sunday and walk back home. And then once my brother and sister were born, when I was 5, we moved up to the north side, and we've been up in the north side ever since. So it's crazy. Like you said, you grew up eating Nigerian food. people grow up eating what their family eats. So I didn't know any better. Like, I mean, I knew pizza existed, I knew hamburgers existed, but I didn't know what pho was. I didn't know what ramen was. I didn't know, what a lot of things were.
I didn't get that far.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't eat Indian food. Things that I enjoy now that we take for granted in Houston. Houston is such a big and diverse, or the most diverse city in the United States. We have an international palate, and we have availability to eat whatever we want. I wrote part of this I did a cover story for Houstonia magazine, April of 2018, and it was all about tacos. One of the sections was why did I choose to become a taco journalist? And one of the reasons was even being exposed to all this food and all these cultures and all this knowledge of different areas of town where you can go eat the best whatever food you want, the best international food, I still choose tacos. I still choose Mexican food on an almost daily basis. And it's just this part of me. The funny thing is I wrote an article for the Houston Press a few years ago called 30 Days No Tacos, where I didn't eat any Mexican food for 30 days. As a Mexican who lives in Houston, that was the most difficult thing I've done. I mean, I'm also Catholic, so I've done like, no meat for Lent or no alcohol, or I've gone I have pretty good willpower, so I can, if I don't want to eat or drink something for a certain amount of time, I just won't do it. Like, I don't have cravings like that. But man, those 30 days with no Mexican food and no tacos were pretty tough.
What were you eating?
Banh mi's, pho, pizza, sandwiches, but I wouldn't get any jalapenos, no cilantro, no beans.
I'm from Houston and Nigerian. I eat Mexican food probably once a week for sure.
Yeah. And not just Mexican food, Tex-Mex too. Like, anything that reminded me of, like I said, jalapenos, cilantro, aguacate, anything like, I just wouldn't eat it. And it was tough, man. It was tough. But, it taught me something. It made me appreciate.
That gave me a headache thinking about that. Because
Really, right?
I have like, what's the cheese? The white cheese that, because my babysitter, she would make us quesadillas with,
I love it.
The white cheese that I'm talking about? Oh, man.
The one that melts?
Yeah, real
like
easy.
The Oaxaca cheese or the...
Yeah.
That stuff is good,
Yeah,
man.
and that's like, I don't even, Nigerian people don't kill me. I don't even have Nigerian food in my fridge, but I have like Mexican food in there.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
I actually I love Mexican food, but I just can't eat it no more.
It's spicy.
No, not even that. Just like trying to like manage my whole.
Now it is.
He's trying to be cute.
Yeah,
It is
trying
tough
manage the whole body
to
and all that.
find like the combination. So for a good taco, you have to have a good tortilla, a good filling, and a good salsa. So if one of them isn't as good, the other two have to be amazing, or else it's just bad. I just won't eat it. So it is tough to find the combination of all three. But I think Houston, most places you go in Houston, you're gonna find a good combination of two and a mediocre to okay third one.
Give us the breakdown. So what are the three? Those are the three elements. So
Yeah.
we said
The
tortilla,
the filling, whether it's whatever meat or
veggie
or anything.
you vegans out
I
there.
eat veggie tacos when I can.
I think it's the stupidest thing in the
Vegan
world.
Yeah, it don't make sense.
Dude, I've tried some of the best vegan chorizo here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
One made by Boombox Taco and one made by this other taco vendor. Her name is Cochinita and Company. They make vegan chorizo.
Is there still egg in it?
No, vegan chorizo.
Vegan.
No, but vegetarian would be
Vegetarian,
would be
yeah,
egg.
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I don't know.
I think like vegetarians, you can eat like.
but
Oh,
it has
I'm
to
not
do-
gonna get into
But
all
it
that
has to
stuff,
do with
stupid.
the seasoning and with the cooking time and with the love that you put into this food. You can give me vegan whatever all day, and if it's well made and well seasoned and well cooked, I'm gonna be happy.
All right, about to put you on the spot.
Top 3.
No, yeah, that'd be good. We could do that. What are the different variations of tortillas?
So you have flour tortillas, and there's different types of flour tortillas. My mom and my grandma would make flour tortillas from like northern Mexico, and they were more thin and more spread out. that's my preference. Now, Tex-Mex flour tortillas are thicker. So what you would find in like San Antonio in the Valley,
I like them thick ones.
and in
Boy.
a lot of Tex-Mex places here in Houston, and those are good too. Now, those are good because if they're well made, they're fluffy, so they hold
That
better.
heat.
But then sometimes when they're handmade, you still have like the flour on them when you're eating it, and it's like, man, this is amazing.
That's
I
my
like
shit.
that a lot.
Yeah.
So there's different types of flour tortillas.
Okay.
Just like there's different types of corn tortilla. There's the yellow corn tortilla, regular corn. There's white corn, which is what you would find most places. Then you have like the blue corn tortillas. There's even tortillas that are made out of nopales, which is cactus, which are green.
Is it good?
It's good.
Gotta find green tortilla.
I
It's
eat
good.
spinach tortillas.
I think there's probably spinach tortillas.
Nah, dude.
We're talking about
I've
like
seen purple
hardcore.
tortillas.
Yeah.
But when you go to the store, there's a couple things. If you go to the grocery store, whether it's Kroger or HEB, wherever you go, look at the packaging. Look where their tortillas are from. Most of the time, there are local tortillas. But don't buy the stuff that's made either in New York or in, I don't know, somewhere else that it's like, and it has all these types of preservatives in it.
You heard it here first. New York, you guys
Water.
don't make no good tacos.
Water, salt, and like corn are your 3 ingredients that you need for a tortilla, and you're set.
Okay.
You can have maybe 1 or 2 other ingredients, but that's it. Don't get Mission tortillas. Don't get Guerrero tortillas.
Ooh.
They're made from a company called Gruma, and Gruma is just like the Anheuser-Busch of tortillas. Like they push out small tortilla vendors and get them out of business, buy them up, and then take over their clientele. That's a whole nother story. So when I see people putting their Taco Tuesday, I'm making tacos at the house, and I see Mission tortillas or Guerrero tortillas or other tortillas that have like 1 million preservatives in them, I was like, I send them messages. I'm like on a crusade. That's good and all, but read this article about tortillas and about the tortillas you're using, or go to the store and buy local. There's tortillerias in Houston that make tortillas for the city, or from, I think there's one in Baytown. There's like 5 or 6 tortilla makers in Houston that distribute to Fiesta and to Kroger and to HEB. Even HEB tortillas are good, are local.
Yeah, there was a guy when I was working at Costco who came into Costco to talk with the people. Like, he didn't know how to get to their buyers, so he came in, and in the process of him talking to them, he gave me, it was probably one of the best tortillas I've ever. Like, I could eat and he brought them in like lukewarm, you know?
Yeah.
So they still had the heat on them, and I was just like, Jesus.
If you ever go into a Mexican grocery store or carniceria, which is a Mexican butcher shop, and you go buy your fajitas or your carne or your barbacoa or whatever, and right before you leave, you're going to see a cooler that's most likely has tortillas that were made that day. Get you some of those. Get you some of those because they're still hot. They were made either that day or the day before, and they're only going to last that day or the next day. Like after that, they're going to get stale and hard because they're not made. There's no preservatives in them. They're not made to last.
Yeah.
So that's why you get like a half bundle or just one bundle of them. You're not going to get 10 of them and take them home and put them in your fridge. And when I was for many years during my childhood, my parents would send me to Mexico to stay with my grandmother and my tias in Mexico. You would have to go to the tortilleria every day, or every other day, and you had to go to the carniceria every day or every other day, and you had to go to the mercado every day, every other day, because that's what you did. That's what they do in most countries. You go to the market and you get your food for the day or for the next day. There's no. Let me go to Costco and buy $10 million worth of food and hold it in my freezer for 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
what are the different mixers? We've already talked about veggies, which I think is an abomination. But
veggies are good, man. Veggies and vegan tortillas. I have to bring you some that are amazing. But you have your standards. You have your meats, which is either beef, chicken, or pork.
Okay.
Now, they can all be either cut different ways, seasoned different ways, and cooked different ways. But most of the time, they're going to be cooked or grilled, or they're going to be stewed in a pot. It's going to be a guisado.
like pull the chicken when you can pull that's
pull
stewed.
it.
Okay.
You can pull it. You can do that to pork, or you can do that to beef, which is just a longer way of cooking it, which in a stewed area, it's called a guisado. Or you can put them on a grill or a griddle or a pan, which you're just basically grilling it. So that's one portion of it. So you have the tortilla, you have your fillings, and then you have the salsa. So salsa's a whole nother thing. I mean, you can have your green salsa, you can have your red salsa, you can have your chile de árbol. I mean, there's so many types of salsa with different types of peppers in it. Now, I don't do habanero or any of the other crazy ghosts peppers or California Reapers.
Yeah.
I think that's just so extreme and so far off. You're not even tasting the taste. You're literally just burning your mouth and you're burning your tongue.
Verde is I like verde.
I like salsa verde. There's different types of salsa verde. One is more creamy. One is more darker. One has avocado. One has cilantro. One has jalapenos. One has serranos. My basic salsa is 2 medium-sized tomatoes and about, I would say, 15 to 20 serrano peppers. Boil them. Take the stems off once it's cooked. Take the stems off of the chiles. Put them in a blender or in a food processor, and then put some salt. That's a standard salsa right there. A lot of people add onions or garlic, and you can do it to taste and salt to taste, but a basic salsa is a basic salsa, and it's gonna taste good. A salsa is not meant to overpower your tacos. It's meant to complement.
So where did all this? I'm still like, where did all the? Okay.
One quick. Jasmine is not even here. That's my fiance. She's gonna give you a shout out tomorrow. Because at first I was gonna go home and just eat something at home. Nah, bro, we're gonna get some Mexican food tonight. And Mexican food is her favorite. I am starving right now.
Yeah.
No, I'm starving too, and that's why I'm like, this podcast is killing me because I'm really hungry. And
I'm so hungry.
All of this has been building up to say that 2 or 3 years ago, I met this gentleman in Miami at a conference at a Hispanic. It's called Hispanicize. It's an advertising marketing conference. His name is Mando Rayo. He's from Austin. He wrote a book. Him and the other author, his name is Jared Neese. They wrote a book about 4 years ago in Austin called Austin Breakfast Tacos, the story of the most important taco of the day. So this is the book that they made, I think, 4 years ago now. Amazing book. I had seen it. I had read it. Somebody bought it for me as a gift. It's like, oh, it's amazing. I meet this guy at this conference. We have a lot of mutual friends. He follows my work, and he's like, oh, you're, good photographer. You're always, involved in the taco scene industry. You're proponent for, Mexicanos and for La Raza and this and that. So yeah. Then they get a contract through University of Texas Press to do another book. Not just about Austin, not just about breakfast tacos, but about tacos as a whole in the whole state of Texas. The name of the book and the name of the project is called The Tacos of Texas. So the photographer that they used on the previous project, he wanted to do a documentary. So he moved from being photo to video. So they needed to fill the photography role. And he asked me if I would do it because he saw that I had a variety of, I could shoot food, I could shoot portraits, I could shoot, environments and real estate and all kinds. I had a diverse portfolio that was good for what they did because they couldn't hire 2 or 3 people. They needed one guy to do everything.
Yeah.
So for a whole summer, they had me in Austin, and we traveled the whole state of Texas by truck. Chevy sponsored a vehicle that we call the Tacos of Texas truck, the taco truck, and we traveled to 10 different cities around the state, from El Paso, Houston, Dallas, Corpus Christi, Laredo, the Valley, Dallas, Amarillo. It was 10 of them, 10 cities in the state of Texas. San Antonio, the most important taco cities in the state.
Yeah.
For a whole summer, documenting tacos, documenting the owners of the taquerias, documenting backyard barbecue cooks making tacos. I mean, we basically made the Bible of tacos for Texas. And I took all the photos. I took the cover photos. I took the portraits. I took the food photos. It was literally one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
And I tell people all the time, have been training for this my whole life. Everything that I've been doing my whole life has been to do this project. And that's how much love we put into this project. Now, the Tacos of Texas book, you can find it on Amazon.
We'll drop the link in our show notes.
But the documentary got funding through PBS, and we had to reshoot it. And we went back to 7 of the 10 cities, and now it's going to come out later on this fall through PBS. So the Tacos of Texas documentary is coming out, and I'm the taco ambassador for Houston. So when they came back to Houston, I took them where they needed to go. I talked about the tacos in Houston, and each city has their own signature taco. I won't tell you what the signature taco is. They will have to watch the documentary to see what the Houston signature taco is. But man, they really, you know.
The messy part of me wants to know who has the best tacos? What city?
All right, so
Gotta be San Antonio.
I mean, I'm biased to Houston because I'm in Houston. But if it's not Houston, I would probably see there's tacos all over the place. Now, two of my favorite tacos in Texas are in Austin. One of them is Valentina's Tex-Mex Barbecue. Valentina's, the guys from Valentina's, they smoke their briskets for 16 hours.
They do brisket tacos.
Yes.
The guy from Franklin's Barbecue told us to go see the guys at Valentina's to eat brisket.
Hey, bro.
That's how good
Good
that
tacos.
brisket is. They make breakfast and lunch and dinner tacos. The breakfast taco with egg is one of my favorite tacos of all time. And their regular brisket taco is called the Real Deal Holyfield. Piece of brisket, fresh aguacate, salsa, like a barbecue salsa mix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is
that shit's amazing.
Damn it. One of the most amazing tacos you will ever eat. The second best taco that I like in Austin is from Veracruz, all natural. There's a couple of trucks that are Veracruz all natural, but they also have a storefront in Round Rock and one in Austin, a brick and mortar. Their Migas taco was named one of the top 5 tacos in the whole United States. And migas is basically tortilla chips or tortillas. So you're talking about a tortilla chip taco, which to a lot of people doesn't make sense. When you eat their migas taco, it will blow your mind, bro. It will blow your mind, blow your taste buds. Because that thing, I could eat that thing all day with their green salsa. It's amazing. It is amazing.
Hungry.
Yeah.
But the Valley has amazing barbacoa. San Antonio and
So
Laredo
everybody kind of does their own
have
thing
breakfast.
really good.
Yeah. Even Dallas, man. I mean, I'm not a Dallas hater. A lot of people are Dallas haters. I'm not. I love our sister city of Dallas. They had some good tacos up there, man. They really do. But obviously Houston, you talk about taco trucks on every corner. That's our reality. We have taco trucks everywhere. Good taco trucks in Houston. Amazing food everywhere.
Yeah.
Is the taco truck at
Especially on the north side.
Avant Garden good?
They're good.
Okay,
I like
so
them.
I'm not tripping.
No, they're good.
Okay.
I've loved that. I like this place.
Because I roll.
Best tacos on the north side of Houston.
Taconazo is the best, probably my favorite in Houston.
Really?
Now,
Very cool.
well, I think it's because I'm from the north side,
So am I.
so I mean, Taconazo is in my top 5 at least.
Okay. Yeah. Argue. Okay.
They're
Yeah,
up there.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
After a gig or after the club or after a show or when I'm on my way home, I'm getting Taconazo.
But you know what? I can't even argue that because I haven't been there in so long. My taste buds are so different
There's
now.
nothing
so
special
I
about
I gotta
what they
go
do.
back. I gotta go back.
It's fajita on a. They make so many tacos they can't make their own tortillas because there's so many.
Yeah.
So they just buy the regular store-bought tortillas, or from a local tortilleria. But it's a regular, nothing special. But their carne is so good, and the queso that they use is so good. Their salsa is so good, and then you put that with the frijoles charros, and a Mexican Coke. Damn. That's like my death row meal right there. So
Yeah,
Taconazo is up there. Boombox Taco is up there for me. La Macro is up
dying.
there for me.
This podcast this is true.
Yeah, this podcast is making
No
me
photography.
so
No,
hungry.
he just made us super hungry.
Yeah. But speaking about tacos, so later on, either this year or next year, I'm hosting a taco documentary. The original plan was supposed to be about taco trucks and restaurants, like like everybody's doing. But then I realized everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Tacos of Texas did it. Me Too is doing it on Facebook. La Mezcla's done it. Pero Like on BuzzFeed has done it. So I wanted to change the focus and talk about pop-up chefs and vendors doing their tacos or their food at bars or at outside of venues or whatever. So I found a lot of amazing pop-up vendors here in Houston that do tacos, and that's what we're focusing on. Myself and Filmatic, my friend Orlando and Christian, who do Filmatic, which is a cinematography group out of Houston. They have been wanting to work on this project with me for at least 1.5 years, 2 years now, and we finally had some time. He's busy, they're busy, I'm busy. We finally had like 3 or 4 days where none of us were working on any projects. So it was up to me to find the vendors. It was up to them to make it look and sound good. So for 3 days, we hit up 4 or 5 different places, and we're gonna maybe 2.5, 3 minutes, no longer than 4 or 5 minutes, because attention spans are so short these days.
Yeah.
We just want to show the people and show their food and make it look good. And we
So y'all shot it already?
We shot it.
Oh.
Now we have to edit it and do voiceover work and stuff like that. But we just shot it. Now we shot the first 4 episodes or 4 snippets of it. Depending on whether or not it gets picked up by somebody or we get funding or whatever happens in the future is going to happen in the future. But for now, we have this footage that we need to edit. And I'm probably thinking at the beginning of the year we'll have some sort of premiere and put it out there. And everybody will get an invitation to it. But I think it's going to look amazing.
I can't wait. Are there going to be tacos there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Faux show.
Man, what you're doing for the city, like, no, for real, like, we do have different influencers and things like that, and it's cool that you're a photographer / influencer, and you might not realize what you're doing, but you really do put the city on the map when it comes to like food and just the culture that we have here. Yeah. So I commend you big time on that, man.
Thank you.
Mike, anything?
When are you going to have your own taco truck? Have you thought about that?
I have thought about it. My father is going to retire this year. And I think if he ever gets bored of retirement, I think we can either join forces with somebody to do something like that. Or maybe I can put together like a dinner series or like a taco truck tour where we get like, I don't know, we sell tickets for $50 and we get like 10 or 15 people in a party bus and we go to like the 5 different things.
I'm buying 2 tickets whenever you're ready.
So that's always been in my head, hopefully nobody steals my idea. But I'm also working with the Visitors Bureau of Houston, Visit Houston. And hopefully I'm writing some articles for them and doing some work for them and hopefully doing some social media stuff for them, taco-specific social media for them. That way we get the taco, because Houston was just named, by GQ, one of the coolest places
the
in the South or something like that.
Something about the restaurant one, right?
We've already known that. Like, this is, and one of their things is like, Houston is cool because we don't care about being cool. That's just who we are. And I think that's actually
speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And that's really the reality.
Yeah, because we're doing things because we want to make cool stuff, or we want to know cool people or show people cool things. But we're not clout chasers. We're not, trying to get on. We're just doing this because that's who we are.
Yeah.
And that speaks a lot for Houston.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, no,
it does. I said it a couple episodes ago, just being ourselves, man, you never run out of that, but trying to be somebody else.
That takes work.
That takes work, and you can run out of that.
Yeah.
That's the reality of stuff. Man, I'm so hungry.
No, really, like, you maybe just want to hit up Ninfa's and get like some, just like a fat, big old plate of something.
Something, dog. Golly.
Because Ninfa's, I've been going to Ninfa's for years, man. That was my spot.
Actually, one quick story about Ninfa's is in 1999, I went, was my first time going to Mexico City. And we went on a trip through the Catholic Church here in Houston, and one of the ladies was on the trip was Mama Ninfa. When she, like, rest in peace, this was like the last couple years of her life. She was one of the coolest people I ever met. I think I was 19 at the time.
I think rich people are cool.
You know what? She would say, Marquito, mi bolsa, por favor. And she would just give me her luggage. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course, I'll help you with your luggage. Putting it on the bus, putting it on the plane, whatever. She would give me like $5, $10, whatever. I was like, okay, cool. I have $5 now. Like,
in 1999, $5 was like $20.
Yeah,
now.
I think one time she gave me a 20, like just to literally get her bags off the bus and put them in her room, in her hotel room. And then one time we went to the pyramids. Well, on the same trip, we went to the pyramids, and she knew one of the restaurant owners right next to the pyramids, like this big restaurant, and she paid for all of us to have lunch. Like, it was like 2 busfuls of people, and she knew the people there, and they were like closed for the day or whatever, and she called and she's like, "Hey, I got this
Mama
2
Neef."
Yeah, literally. She was like the Jay Prince of Houston before Jay Prince of the culinary world. But yeah, she knew people. People loved her, man, and she was so cool, such a cool person. I think that's cool that I got to meet her and
no, you've been around some influential people. What I wanted to ask you before we got up out of here was, photography wise, what's next?
I'm almost 40, man. I'm older than most people in this industry. I think that once I hit 40, I don't think I'm going to be able to go to all these festivals like I do now and travel as much as I do now and look for my next paycheck every week kind of thing. Like, I think I probably will settle down and get a job at either a media company or, slow down, get that 9 to 5, thing going on, get that steady paycheck and that, saving for retirement going on. And I think that's in my future. I don't know about marriage or kids. I mean, I don't know if that's in my future or not. But
oh man, somebody's out the door.
Yeah. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
check?
that's what's gonna happen for me. But I'm always gonna be doing my side hustles. That's a Houston way of life, hustling on the side, whether it's shooting portraits or weddings or headshots or last minute. I get a lot of last minute phone calls and emails and texts because I think people forget to hire a photographer until the last minute sometimes.
It's an afterthought.
Yeah.
When we're so important.
Luckily, I have a diverse set of. I have a diverse set of skills.
Yeah.
That I can shoot lots of events, lots of different type of events. So.
Oh, yeah, I've seen your work before. You got a lot of range.
When you run and gun, like
that too.
You do a concert, those first few songs, and look back and you're gone.
And it's already posted.
Yeah, it's already posted, and you're on your Instagram stories at another event. Like, god damn, it's definitely a hard worker, man. You definitely get the job.
I think. That's the thing. I'm not the best photographer, probably in this room. Definitely in Houston and in Texas. I'm not the best photographer anywhere, but I work hard. Hard work. And that speaks a lot of volumes to
hard work usually gets you a lot further.
Who want to pay you for your work.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand.
Yeah. Thank you for making us hungry.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. This is cool.
No, man, no problem.
Any other questions? I'm on Instagram, Marco from Houston. Send me a DM.
H-Town, baby.
My email's on there. My phone number's on there.
And we'll put it all in the show notes, so if you want to reach out, man. But low key, high key, Houston photography legend, Marco right here, man.
For real.
Hardest work. There's a lot more work to do.
Definitely one of the hardest working men out here, though, for real.
True.
Thank you.
But thank y'all for tuning in to the Not So Cool podcast, where not being cool is. I said it wrong.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning into the Not So Cool podcast, where we make not cool being cool.
Not cool being cool?
Sure. Not supposed to talk all the time.
You got this shit knocking though.